and I'd just sit there for the afternoon with a book and a pillow to go to sleep on.
Do you have a book in mind?
I've just been given a book about Russia, actually, that I'm really looking forward to reading, called White Blood. So I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
I'd take that with me.
Take that. And is it sort of a Sussexy England I'm hearing you describing, or a sort of a Yorkshire?
It's not a Yorkshire, although Yorkshire is incredibly pretty. Yes, probably Sussex, Gloucestershire, probably the Cotswolds or Herefordshire, or really any little corner of England, really, actually. Mm.
Okay. Peg Wimberley of Victorville asks, have you ever found a role hard to perform because your views were so opposite of the character that you were asked
Yes,
to portray?
yes. I mean, in particular in Mosquito Coast, where I played a role that was only called Mother, She had no name. She was just Mother. And she was sort of always in the kitchen. And she was supporting her husband. Nice. But the way I got my head around it was I'd just played Morgana in not just but a while before, played Morgana in Excalibur, and Morgana was the male fantasy of the evil, sexually voracious witch woman, out to seduce men and bring them down. A complete male fantasy. But, the evil woman, the evil, sexual, beautiful, magic, witchy woman. And then the woman in Mosquito Coast was the good mother, the faithful, good, supportive, never arguing, always saying yes dear, no dear kind of person. And nurturing, helpful. And the only way I could get my head around it was thinking, that's cool, I can play the two sides of the coin. Neither of them are true, but they're the two sides of the coin of male fantasy about women, if you know what I mean. So that was how I got myself
into that one.
Into it, yeah.
Stefan Harris of Washington, D.C. asks, which director or directors did you learn the most from and why?
Which director did I learn the most from? God, that's... I mean,
I don't think you can say your husband.
No, no, I could, but I won't. No, the truth is you learn a different thing from all of them. They all have something to offer, and every film by its nature, the different actors, the different cinematographer, the different writing, the different atmosphere of the film, you learn something from all of them. I think the best bit of advice I was ever given about film acting came from an American actor and producer and director called Bob Balaban, who, when I was doing a film called 2010, he was in the cast, and he gave me this wonderful piece of advice that I've adhered to about film acting, which was, he said, you don't know where the arrow is going to land, the arrow of your performance, of the take, of that moment. You have no idea. And I had found that out to be true, that you intensely try and emotionally express, the pain of loss of whatever, whatever you're trying to do. And then what's on the screen is something completely different. Not what you intended at all. I mean, interesting often, but something completely different. Where did that come from? I didn't do that. I was doing that. And that came out. So, and that can drive you crazy as an actor. So he taught me, he said, just let the arrow land where it will. Throw it out there, do it as instinctively and as truthfully as possible, but then let it go wherever it goes, and let go of it, and let go of it. Don't torture yourself when you go home at night. Why didn't I do this? Oh my God, why didn't I scratch my ear? That would have been so cool to scratch my ear. That would have been really believable. And you do tend to, have those moments when you come home from a day's filming. And that was great advice, and I've absolutely followed that. It kind of liberated me. You know what, just let it happen, and then let it land where it will.
Do you think the fact that you sort of got success, or I would say notoriety, stardom, when you were you're slightly more mature, changed the way?
Well, that's not actually true. I mean, I was pretty well known Well, you know, in my own little way, in my own little world, actually almost immediately. I mean, I did...
From the theatre?
From the theatre, yeah. And then I did a film, you know, playing a leading role when I was 22, and then I absolutely went back to the theatre because that was what I wanted to do. You know, all the way through my life, I've, you know, had moments of success and recognition, and then moments of struggle. And yes, it's gone on. And yes, it's true, I didn't win an Academy Award until I was in my, you know, 60s. But
we can edit that out, right? There was atmospheric sound.
Turn the sound up there. But, you know, I'd had a lot of, certainly notoriety, my God, you know. I mean, I've had, you know, newspaper articles and interviews in newspapers done ever since I was in my early 20s. But obviously not quite as much as right now. But that will pass, you know.
One of the readers has noticed the tattoo on your hand and would like to know what it is and why you got it.
To read my book.
They'll have to read your book.
To buy my book
Good
and read
answer.
it.
Good answer.
Yes,
Another
the answer
reader.
is in the pages of the book. Well, the short answer is I got drunk.
They will have to read the book.
Yeah. I think I write about it in the book. I can't remember. But yes,
Okay,
I did.
Hilary.
No, I did. I got drunk on an Indian reservation in Minnesota when I was working with Peter Brook.
Another reader would like to know what your favourite vegetable is.
My favourite are potatoes.
Potatoes?
I do love potatoes. I had great potatoes last night from this Chinese restaurant.
Oh, really? Chinese and potatoes? You don't usually
Chinese,
think
I
that.
know. They were shredded really fine and then sort of very lightly cooked with a little very light vinegar. They were so good, and peppers.
It's the vinegar. You know what it is? It's the vinegar,
But
potatoes.
very light vinegar,
You're
not,
just going back to
not
the
heavy,
hot
just
chips
light.
with vinegar.
Yeah, but they weren't fried at all. Oh. They were delicious.
You were recently in Reno, Nevada, filming your newest movie, Love Ranch. Ranch.
Love Ranch.
What's your view on brothels?
Oh, I think legal prostitution is the way to go, I have to say. I think with the awful, horrendous traffic in women, the illegal traffic in women, the enslavement of women, the danger then of girls out on the street, you know, so vulnerable to pimps, to johns, you know, in a legal brothel, they're protected, they're legalized. The johns are protected because they know that, you know, the girls have to be medically checked every week. So, you know, it's the way to go, because any other way it will never stop, and it'll just be illegal and violent and vile like so much of it is now.
This one's pretty probing. Nimna De Silva of Colombo asks, do you really prefer tea over coffee? And
Yes.
If so,
absolutely.
what kind?
PG Tips.
PG Tips?
Yes.
Not even like a brand, just PG Tips?
No, PG Tips is a brand.
I mean, not even like like a English breakfast, like a leaf, but you're going for PG Tips.
PG Tips sort of is English breakfast. It's proper English breakfast. Yes.
So you just get that at Tesco's or something, right?
Well, in England, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, you know, wherever.
Any of those?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, PG Tips. All Brits drink PG Tips.
It is true, they do.
Yeah.
And many of us Australians too.
Yeah, yes. Do you love Marmite?
Vegemite is what I go for. Marmite is the British
very,
one.
yes, yeah.
I don't hold with Marmite.
Yes. I feel the same about Vegemite.
Have you had any royal family feedback after your fascinating performance as the Queen?
No, is the short answer. Absolutely not. The only thing was I was invited to dinner by the Queen after I'd done it. So I don't think she would have done that if she'd hated it. You know, so to me that was as much. I couldn't, unfortunately, go. I was working in South Dakota, but that's as close as I think as I'll ever get, and rightfully, to approbation.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.